Hi, my name is Holden Thomas, and my speech will be about human cloning. Human cloning was once pure science fiction, but thanks to modern day science, that's no longer true. But with that in mind, one must ask themselves, just because you can do something, should you do it? Just because you can do it, do you have to do it? Or does it go against moral policies and values? Now, human cloning typically refers to the action of copying or duplicating a previously existing human being. It can also refer to the taking of human cells to create human tissue for disease repair and organ repair. A lot of time, human cloning is looked at as science fiction, right? Or mad science, witchcraft, but it's really not. It's really close to modern day science. It just takes a lot of time. In reality, there's a lot of problems. There's a lot of setbacks. There's positive and negative aspects of it. And there's no commercial availability for human cloning, so I can't go and get myself cloned. But livestock cloning is a thing around the world in livestock facilities and disclosed laboratories. We have cloned animals such as sheep, cats, dogs, deer, mule, and oxes. Business Insider says it took 277 tries for scientists to create one sheep, Dolly, the famous sheep, the sheep that was cloned, the first animal clone ever in the world. But nowadays, cloning mammals is generally a 10 to 20% success rate. It's not as successful as you may think, but it works. It's better than 1 out of 277. But following this is a lot of health problems, and it's not very effective at keeping animals alive. A lot of the clones don't reach full maturity. The National Human Genome Research Institute says there might be complications with clones in their health, such as an increase in size during birth, and also functionality and damage in the vital organs. So that includes the heart, lungs, liver, and the brain. It also includes damage to the immune system, compromised immune systems, meaning the clones cannot fully develop an immune system because they had no mother who had an immune system to pass down to them. So they're born with no immune system, meaning they can't produce any white blood cells to fight any diseases or any infections that they might come their way. So they'll get the common cold and die. It's not as efficient as one may think, but it's very difficult, but it's still very possible. And we're not in Jurassic Park territory, we're nowhere near Star Trek cloning, but it's still modern day science of cloning and copying cells and genetics. Right now, currently, human cloning is as far as taking human cells to create human tissue. We can make a human heart out of human tissue and use that in surgery and health to fight against diseases and other things. But this raises a lot of questions, in especially animal cloning. Does it go against moral values? Does it go against the laws of nature? Do we need to take this upon ourselves to do it, or is it very controversial? Is this a form of animal cruelty? Can it be looked at as the same way as testing on animals? Because they stay in the lab. It's not like they roam free in the wild. But let's say someone could effectively commercialize human cloning. So I could take a strand of my hair and go get two of me, right? There's another one of me walking around. Would clones be able to go about day-to-day life as we do? Would they have social security cards? Would they have jobs and families? Or would they be kept in labs? Because if they went out, they'd be discriminated and bullied, and they wouldn't be accepted into life. So The Cell, a magazine, says more than 60 of the world's most top leading scientists have called for a UN ban on human cloning. Now, this is to protect the vulnerability of vulnerable people. That includes politicians, celebrities, we don't want two Donald Trumps. One is enough, okay? But they don't want that to interfere with the extended cloning of human tissue. So creating more human tissue for organs and disease repair. That won't be affected. But at the end of the day, you gotta think, are your genetics and cells and DNA, are those your personal property, or is it just free for anybody to go take? Can someone just take a strand of your hair and go and clone you? Now there's two of you walking around. Is that acceptable? Or like, should there be a ban on that? Should there be laws stating no human cloning? The best example of human cloning is in movies, science fiction movies. Here's an example. Star Wars, The Clone Wars. All the clones, right, are copies of one person. So could an example of modern day clones be used in the military aspect? Would we use clones as our military, as our line of defense? Or would we use them as like work bots, right? Like in the Alien franchise, clones are used as people, basically slaves almost. So would this cause like a slave uprising, another slave event in world history? So laws most definitely need to be placed on human cloning, so bad stigma and events don't take place, such as slavery, just duplications of people and fraud. But bans need to be placed on human cloning to prevent historical events from repeating and stigma of infamous events.